Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our very first video game review live.
It's live. You can chat with us, but we're still gonna do our reviews first. There will be some questions for later because we have a work to do, and that is a review.
And today we're talking about a big game, the second mystery game given away by Epic Games as one of their huge premium games. And that game is Civilization 6.
It's actually the latest one. Let's say this series is actually almost 25 years old. This is really one of the oldest series ever.
The first one was published in 1991.
Yes.
Wow.
And they didn't change the system from the first one. It's still a turn-based strategy about civilizations. That's what it's called, and that's what it's about.
So the title fits, is what we're saying, yeah. So as soon as you see the gameplay, which is right behind us, you can get a sense of what kind of game this is. It is a turn-based strategy, but not only a military turn-based strategy like many turn-based games.
There's actually more to it because, yes, there are other civilizations and you can fight with them, but that's probably not a good idea from the start because you need to focus on your civilization too, not only on your army. But that's actually the thing is that you can play the game 5 different types. Like you can have 5 different victories, 6 if you have a DLC actually. And the first one is to actually, you can go with science or you can go with culture. You can be dominator, so kill them all.
Military. Yeah.
You can go into religion, or you can win by the score. So there are 5 ways to win in this game in the original one.
Which is an unusual approach and actually quite refreshing for this genre because usually it's about, you have to manage your economy, you have to manage your town, but in the end it's about having a better army and destroying all your opponents. But if you don't want to do that, you can conquer the world in 4 other ways besides the military, which brings a lot of replayability to this game.
Actually, when you start a game, it really starts very simply because you have just one town, and really from the start you need to think if you want to be the fighter or if you want to be the economist, because you cannot do everything because everything takes time, and all the ages gonna evolve. All the civilizations will choose if they're gonna put all their time into army or into science, into other things. And you can of course make you can be a diplomatic with other civilizations, and there's many of them actually on the map. There's not just 1, 2, there's many.
And that's one of the things that is very appealing, at least in the marketing of this game, is that all of your opponents, all of your AI opponents, will approach things with a different strategy. So one leader might be more likely to use spies, and another leader is more likely to use missionaries, and another one is more likely to build a huge army and try to destroy
Let's say actually the civilizations are by the history. It's not some science fiction. You can have a Cleopatra from Egypt, or from the US, you can have some president there. You can have some shoguns from Japan. So it's pretty nice. But Caleb, there's a question.
Wait, I have a question for you before our big one. And everyone watching this live will take some time after the review to answer your question. So please, I see them in the chat, but please repeat them afterwards. My first question is, which character did you decide to play with?
Well, actually, I played the randomly generated map with randomly generated character, and it chose for me Japan. I didn't choose it.
That was
but it
random.
chose for me.
Random.
It was random. It was. I didn't get to choose it.
I completely non-randomly chose the Japanese character.
Okay. Good.
Ask us later about our connection to Japan, the two of us.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our main question.
That is, should you play it?
Wait. Should you play it?
You want to go with bigger. Should you play it? should you? Okay.
This is new technology for us.
Yeah.
We're very excited. Mikhail spent all day preparing this, and I think
True.
it's awesome.
True. So do you want to?
No,
me to
I
go
want
first?
you to go first. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I know actually the Civilization 1, and I didn't play most of them, but I played the first one. And from the first one, I know that the Civilization as a series is a good game, but you're gonna spend a lot of time on it. And when I start playing the sixth one, I was actually expecting that I'm gonna be it's gonna be hard, but the tutorial actually helped me, and it is not so difficult to get into this game.
Yeah.
But when you get into this game, you're gonna lose simply hours spending. You're gonna spend a lot of time on this because you have 500 turns, or maybe it's possible to make it unlimited. And you want to go from the Stone Age to the New Age, and that takes a lot of time because everything is turn-based and everything is slow. And once you actually uncover all the other civilizations, each turn is gonna take time. So you need to have a time for this game. And it's connected actually to my saying yes or no for this game, because I think this is a brilliant game. This is a really good game. But our channel is not about if it's a good game or not. It's about should you play it.
It's interesting.
And for that, I have to say, because it's so good, it's so addictive, and you're gonna lose hours on this game, you shouldn't play it, actually. Because you're gonna, like, I felt like I waste like 5 hours playing it.
And you felt like you wasted time.
Well, I know it's a like very intelligent game, but it's still a game, and I don't think it brings me a lot. When I played it and finished it, I still had to think about it. So
Right.
it's really, because it's too good, it's too time consuming. You cannot play like one map for few hours. You need to spend few days on one map.
It's
So-
finishing one game
So
is
this
10
is
to 20 hours.
actually
yeah.
new. I'm saying no just because it's
Because
too
it's
addictive.
so good and too
It's
addictive.
too addictive. I mean, the graphic is really simple. I think it's not so good, but it doesn't matter here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
sure
a
how to
chocolate.
process that, because saying that it's so good that you shouldn't play it. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, that's very interesting. On my side, I had never played any Civilization game before, but I played other real-time and turn-based strategy games. In general, I don't like turn-based games. I definitely prefer the real-time games, Command and Conquer, Age of Empires. I find them more exciting. But I can definitely get into this. And this one definitely pulled me in. I understand what you're talking about. Is it starts slow, there's a lot to learn, but once you get into it, there's so many different goals that you're pulled towards different goals. You want to capture that city. You want to produce that gold. You want to start that trade line. You want to explore
There's
that
a
continent.
lot of things to do.
A lot of things to do, and all of them are intriguing. However, there are a number of things that I found quite disappointing about this, actually. I'd always heard about the Civilization series, and this game is extremely well reviewed and is supposed to be the top of the top. Also, Epic Games just gave it away as one of their premium mystery games with all the hype. The same amount of hype as GTA 5, basically.
Even though they released it with the original version, so it means you need
That's
to
true.
buy a lot of DLCs.
That's a good point. Yeah. But a few things that I found a little bit disappointing. One is that I've played the Total War series, and something I love about that series is it's very similar on the main board, but then the battles are real time.
Yeah.
You control all the units. It's exciting. It's thrilling. You can spend half an hour in the battle by itself. In Civilization, you take your military unit, you move it on another military unit. Basically, behind the game, some dice are thrown, and you get the result.
Yeah, it's not very visually appealing, the battles.
Well, it's not. Nothing is real time. Nothing is thrilling. Nothing is exciting. There were no tense moments of thinking, "Oh no, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Oh, I made it." Like,
It's more about strategy. You need to think 100 years like in the future. What are you gonna do?
That's right. Two more very quick points. I love history, And some video games actually bring some knowledge of history. This one will teach you nothing about history. Like, I started as a Meijing Japanese ruler fighting against Gilgamesh, Queen Victoria, and Teddy Roosevelt. It's a video game, I know, but it makes zero sense. Zero.
But the characters, right behind us, there's some Greek character.
Hello.
I believe, yeah.
and Cleopatra, yeah.
So they are like based on history, but it's still a fantasy. You're right.
Yeah. And finally, the visual style is pretty, but there's not a lot of detail. The cities are really cool to design, but you can't get down close enough to feel like you're creating a living city. It's all very cartoony and very distant.
It actually feels more like a board game.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It feels like an extremely developed digital board game. And I don't think that's a very controversial thing to say, but my opinion might be quite controversial, because I think if you're a fan of turn-based strategy, you have to play this. This is one of the best of the genre. But if you're not a fan of turn-based strategy, this game is not going to convince you. And therefore, I would say for general people, if you're wondering, you're not sure and you're wondering if this is worth playing or not, and if it's going to surprise you, no, you shouldn't play it. Simply because I don't think it's going to bring you anything that is surprising and unexpected. It's not going to convince you to love the genre. And as you said, it takes a lot of time. So it might be worth it, but be prepared to put 10 hours into it before you really get enchanted by it.
If you love strategies, and if you go to work at these times, you should not play definitely, because you would stop going to your work.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's weird to say that it's very addicting.
It's very addicting. Yeah.
It's very addicting, but it's not that exciting.
Well, it's more about in your head. It's more exciting when you play it than actually on the screen, I think, because there's so many possibilities you can do, but you have to think about them, and it's not so visually appealing there.
Yeah. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. Everyone who's live, stay with us. We're going to ask you questions, but everyone who's watching this recorded, please comment on this video. Tell us your opinion. We're happy to have a discussion with you. And please subscribe to our channel to be informed about all the other free games coming up from Epic Games.
And if you are subscribed, but you need to also hit the bell button to get notification, because that's how you get notifications from us. We are all about free games.
Like if we have sudden live videos.
And if you want even more free games, there's our friend, there's Low Budget Gaming, that does even more about free games. So
on all other platforms, and this is like a golden era for free games.
Don't forget to check him out.
Yeah. And we hope to see all of you in our next video.
Okay.
Bye.